decorations that have gone out of style, that are no longer used nowadays, and that I wouldn't do in my house being an architect. And I would also recommend that you don't do them in your house. That's what I'm going to show you here now in this video. Hey guys, how are you doing? All good? I'm a Deco and architect, and now I want to show you some decorations, items that when we're renovating our house, sometimes we think that's cool and beautiful, let's do it this way. And we don't even imagine that later we might even regret having chosen that decoration. For example, I wouldn't do it when renovating my house or decorating my apartment. I'm telling you this now so you don't make a mistake. You may agree or disagree, and that's fine. I'd like to hear your comment, whether you agree with me or not on these items I'm going to show you right now. First item, guys, a light above the mirror there in your bathroom. You know, when we put lighting, especially a spotlight right above the mirror in our bathroom, it's very common for us to have lighting in front of the mirror in our bathroom, in our suite bathroom, in our guest bathroom, or even in a half bath, right? When we have a plaster ceiling, people go there and put those spotlights right in front of the mirror, about 8 inches away. However, there's a mistake here that I want you to understand. When you use this lighting that's right in front of the mirror, it creates a shadow here, okay? In this part of your eye, right here. And for women's makeup, or when you're shaving your beard. Anyway, when you use this lighting so you can see your face in a more natural way, especially for women when it comes to makeup, it's a mistake, okay? It won't work because it'll create a shadow here, see, on your eye and face. So this is a terrible problem for everyday life. Now, if that's not your intention, if that's not your goal, then it's all good here, there's no problem. I have another place here in my suite, in a closet, where I have a mirror and the lighting comes from the front. That way we can use it for makeup. Anyway, that's fine, that's cool, that's nice. But if you only have this one goal, if you only have this space to have both functional lighting and lighting that gives you light from the front, it's a good idea to use a little wall sconce, maybe a LED on the mirror, so the lighting comes from the front to your face to give you proper lighting, right? A more natural illuminance there without creating shadows. So the first thing I wouldn't do in my house, okay, with that goal in mind, all right? Let me make it clear for you here. Panel only around the television in your living room. Look how interesting this item is. See, I even want to discuss it with you. Tell me here in the comments. Do you think the slatted panel is out of fashion? I want to hear your opinion, okay? Do you think the panel is out of fashion? I'm seeing here quite often some interior design professionals saying that the slatted panel is out of fashion, that it's outdated. I'm an architect and I have a slatted panel in my television room. Whenever I can, in my projects, I suggest to my clients to make a little side strip, a nice panel in the television room, the one that goes on the side table, on the headboard of the bed. There are many situations where you can use the slatted panel. I want to know your opinion, but what I want you to understand is whether you make a panel slatted or not, whether it's smooth. Anyway, whatever the shape, even if it's just around the television like a frame so you can embed your television there, that's not functional, in my opinion, okay? It's better for you to just have the television, like I've already told you here in other videos on the channel. When you want a wall, a television room that's cleaner, simpler, lighter in decoration, there's no need to have a panel, just a television stand and the television. Obviously, you'll need to make some adjustments, like installing a duct, a pipe, or something like that. A conduit so that the HDMI cables and all the other television wires for the devices are embedded inside the wall. So, you need to do this beforehand, but what I want you to understand is, are you going to install the panel? Do it on the whole wall, okay? Don't just put up that wooden frame where your television sits, okay? Like how it's embedded. I didn't have to do this here. The television only fits this way. That's unnecessary. In my opinion, making the panel only around the television is out of style. Mirror on the cabinet in your kitchen, on that tall cabinet in your kitchen, putting a mirror there. We even have a personal experience here from the old house where we used to live. My wife used to complain a lot because we had the mirror on that overhead cabinet, that wall cabinet, in the kitchen area of our house. And she used to say, look, Edipo, I cleaned this here, and 2 or 3 days later, it looks like it hasn't been cleaned for a month because it seems like the dirt really sticks to it and everything. It's not that it sticks, it's going to stick anyway, whether it's wood, plastic, or any other material. It's just that the mirror shows it more, right? Those little grease stains on your mirror, so it shows more. It gives that impression of carelessness, you know? And it's not very functional, in my opinion. It's not very functional to have mirrors on those overhead cabinets in your kitchen. It's nice, it's more natural to use the woodwork itself to make the doors, to make the counter there anyway without using mirrors. That's another situation as well. Another decoration that I wouldn't put in my new house, okay? In my new house project. I wouldn't suggest my clients do this in their closet. Even if they like it, I'd ask, do you want to put it in? Do you like this decoration or product? Let's add it, but I don't recommend it. I will make that very clear to my client. So it's just another item here. It's another outdated decoration that, in my opinion, I wouldn't put in. A yellow sofa in your living room. Look at this. It's almost absurd. You have your nice, beautiful living room. You put in porcelain tiles, a cool vinyl floor, set up your television room, your panel, your awesome television stand. You decorated the ceiling, added some pleasant lighting, and then boom, you put in a yellow sofa to really catch the eye. That wine color, that red wine sofa to stand out. Whoever comes to my house is going to have to see my sofa. They might not notice anything else in my house, but they're definitely going to see the sofa. Look, I want to tell you something. This kind of situation is totally out of style. It's completely out of context in your decoration. Especially nowadays when people really ask for a cleaner project, something lighter, softer, okay? So don't draw so much attention with just one piece of furniture in your house like a yellow sofa, a red sofa, or a blue sofa that hurts my eyes, okay? Don't do that. What's my tip for you? Pay attention. If you have colors in your wall paint, cabinetry, or flooring in shades of gray, look for a sofa in a slightly darker shade of gray. If you have beige tones, look for a sofa in lighter or darker beige tones, a neutral color, okay? But never put a yellow sofa in your living room decor, a sofa. Edipo, but everything here is white. I want something to stand out. Instead of the sofa, let's highlight an armchair, which I think looks nice. That way you can move it, put it on your balcony, place it in another room. It's a piece of furniture, kind of a portable object. We can move it, but we can't change the sofa. So in my opinion, when it comes to decoration, an item I wouldn't put in my house. A sofa that clashes so much with the decor. I also don't suggest doing it at home. Gray granite in the kitchen. Check out this item I want to show you. Edipo, come on. I was already thinking about choosing a granite model here to put in my kitchen, and I was looking at some colors and stuff. Let me tell you this. Granite is one of the materials. It's one of the stones we have here in Brazil. Most common, one of the cheapest. Let's put it this way so we can renovate and really crunch the numbers. There are several types: Black São Gabriel, Green Ubatuba, Pitaya, Absolute Gray, and more. But what I want you to understand is, pay attention. When we're designing a kitchen's decor, the cabinets, the floor, the countertop anyway, the gray granite, that speckled one, you know? It even gets a bit tiresome, seeing that same flat stone on the countertop all the time. This material, this type of granite, this specific model, it's really hard for us to match it with other decorations. Do you want to see two granite models here that are really easy for us to match with anything like this? There's Pitaya, there's São Gabriel Black. They're both beautiful for you to decorate your kitchen countertop, to choose a nice model for your countertop. Now this gray one is very difficult. Man, let me tell you, I've already done some projects where the client said, look, there's a granite like this and so on. I said, let's not work with it. No, let's not, because it's very difficult. You're going to get tired of it quickly in your kitchen decor. You'll call me and say, hey, Edipo, why didn't you warn me? So it's a specific item, this type of gray granite, that I don't use, would never use in a new decoration in my house, and I don't recommend you use it in yours. Aluminum handles, you know, they're on our cabinets, on the cupboards, especially in the kitchen. This one, it has two sides, right? This item here, the aluminum handle, it's very functional. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna hide this from you because you have it all the way across the door. You can grab it anywhere and pull. It's a functional handle. We can't hide that. But in terms of aesthetics, it really takes away from your cabinetry. It becomes a detail about 3 centimeters. Some models are even 4, running the full length of your door or cabinetry, typically vertically. And that aesthetically isn't very nice. For you to do in your kitchen, in your bathroom cabinet, in your laundry area, on the balcony, at the barbecue area, right? So think about it. I'll repeat and make it very clear for you. Is it functional? Yes, but it's not nice, okay? You may agree with me. Many watching this video will say, I have it at home and I like it. That's fine. That's my point. It's functional, but for a clean project, a lighter, softer project, it's not very aesthetically pleasing. I wouldn't do it, okay? To be honest with you, in my house, in a renovation I'm gonna do, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't put that type of all aluminum handle on the drawer or on the door. I would choose another model, something cleaner, softer, polished flooring in your house. We're even going to open up discussions about this one because there are a lot of people who support it and a lot of people who don't like it. Look, let's just talk about another item here too, right? That can also cause a lot of discussion among us. Why? There are a lot of people who support polished porcelain tiles and there are a lot of people who hate polished porcelain tiles, right? For many reasons. Some people say, it's easy to clean and I like the shine and how simple it is to maintain. There are other people who don't like it. Wow, it shows too much dirt. Anything at all is there. If a hair falls on the polished floor, you can already see it, right? So it divides opinions. What do you think in your house, if you're building, if you're renovating, or if you want to change the floor in your house? Would you choose a satin finish, which is more matte, or would you go with a polished one? Me, as an architect, in my house, in a new project, I would choose satin. I wouldn't go with polished for the floor in my house. Okay? It's a matter of taste. It's a personal choice, all right? It's something that it's just like the handle I mentioned earlier. Some think it's cool and functional, but it takes away too much aesthetically. Polished flooring is a personal issue. If you asked me in a project I would do for you, which one would you recommend, Edipo? I recommend the satin finish, but the polished one works too. It depends on what we decide for the rest of your decor. I want your opinion, satin or polished. Dark colors to paint inside your house. You know when you choose a very dark color and end up making your space too dark? I've already told you this in several videos here on the channel. That inside our house, I like to work with at most 2 colors for painting the walls, okay? Choose a very light color to be the predominant one and pick 1 wall per room. And use a darker color to make it stand out. Television room, all walls painted a very light cockatiel gray. Television wall. Then you go there and use an elephant gray, okay? Edipo, I like a beige tone. Put there, I don't know, a very light, very soft bean sprout color. A cottage in the countryside, which is a darker color on a single wall, okay? Avoid dark colors indoors or you'll eventually add a darker sofa. You'll pick darker woodwork and the floor may already be a bold color. And then you'll have to leave the lights on most of the time during the day in your house because those rooms will get too dark. So, one thing I wouldn't do in my house and I don't recommend you do in yours is choose very dark colors to paint and repeat that color too much inside. Pick a light color and use it on one wall. It looks great. Let me jump in here. Hold on, I want to jump in. Internally, if I'm telling you that I'm not in favor of using dark colors, externally, what colors would I use on my house to paint the facade, the wall, the garage? These are items, decorations that I wouldn't do in my house. I wouldn't recommend that you do them in yours. Some of them are out of fashion. Others are functional but not aesthetically pleasing. Others, you'll agree with me 100%. I want to hear your opinion. Comment here which ones you agree with me on and which ones you disagree with. Okay? So we can have this conversation. Remember that the link to my ebook is in the description. Okay? Comment and subscribe to the channel. If you made it this far, leave your like as well. And don't forget that I'll see you in our next video. Take care.